we are going to talk about innovation inside large banks. In recent years, there's been a remarkable breadth and depth in the capacity for innovation in financial services. There have been enhancements to payments infrastructure, distributed ledger technology, and also regulatory evolution. And these enhancements have affected how financial institutions invest and compete regardless of size.
Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another CyberX video banger. In today's video, we're going to be jumping into some ongoing developments happening behind the scenes via the regulatory environment, and then we're going to transition and talk about some massive things that have taken place over the past 48 hours in the DeFi ecosystem, proving to you all some of the things that we've been talking about for the longest time on the CyberX platform. Before we jump into DeFi, we're going to head over here and we're going to set the tone for today's video breakdown by listening to Justin McCormick, the SVP at State Street, go on to talk about the SAB 121 bill from last year when it was put into place, or when it was obviously, of course, predominantly focused on. Over a year ago, we had mentioned that this was one of the things that needed to happen or get mitigated or completely taken away out of the market for financial institutions to actually onboard into this space. Take a second and listen to what Justin McCormick said to you all last year.
Yeah, so Staff Accounting Bulletin 121 was issued by the Office of the Chief Accountant at the SEC, and it essentially kind of had at its core two main requirements. One is that entities that are safekeeping or custodying digital assets needed to include a number of disclosures to their clients, risk disclosures in their financial statements about the risks associated with that, which makes a lot of sense. And then the second aspect was to ensure that those entities include on their balance sheet both an asset and a liability equal to the fair market value of those assets. And for most public companies that this applies to, who are not banks, it's more of a reporting exercise. It doesn't have a fundamental impact to the way they run their business. For a custody bank or a bank in general, when you put an asset on your balance sheet, that means you need to hold capital against that asset. So it makes the activity of custodying assets much more expensive for the bank. And so as we go through this process and we have SAB 121, it essentially provides a hindrance for banks to be getting into this business because it makes it a lot more expensive. Traditionally, in custody of traditional assets, those do not go on the balance sheet. So this is it makes the activity more expensive than it would otherwise be. And I think there's a challenge here too, because as I mentioned, a core aspect of what a custody bank does and what a bank does generally is to ensure that we are doing things in a safe and a sound manner, and that we're managing our clients' assets in a way that facilitates financial stability. By having SAB 121, it makes it harder for banks, who are the entities that are kind of most suited to bringing stability to the digital asset industry. It kind of keeps them out. By having SAB 121, it makes it harder for banks, who are the entities that are kind of most suited to bringing stability to the digital asset industry. It kind of keeps them out.
This is extremely positive because, again, what have we been reiterating to individuals for the longest time, especially crypto researchers like myself, that financial institutions are coming. We are just simply waiting on the sidelines right now for financial institutions to get the regulatory green light. And when that green light comes, we are going to see such a massive influx of capital into this digital asset landscape.
But the point is, whatever it is, it's going to look entirely different in many respects than the current regulatory regime. But I think that is probably where we're ending up. And I think you're also going to see, I think the trend is towards the base protocols and the basic functioning of those base protocols being considered different enough in kind where they are not subject to that regulation. And I think that actually probably gets us to a pretty good place. And one which would engender, I think, broader participation by regulated entities like banks and financial institutions in the space, which is obviously going to be very important.
Take a second and let's jump into these ongoing developments behind the scenes from this SAB 121. U.S. Senate overturns the SEC's anti-crypto resolution, but will Biden veto the law decoded? In a 60-38 vote, United States senators passed the H.J. Res. 109, a resolution nullifying the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's SAB number 121. The commission's rule requires banks to keep customers' digital assets on their balance sheet with capital maintained against them, a measure many lawmakers and industry leaders have criticized as stifling innovation. The tally, a stunning 60 yeas in the Senate vote, sends a strong signal that both the House of Congress across the political divide clearly disapprove of this rule, stated the crypto advocacy group, the Blockchain Association. However, before the resolution passed in the U.S. House of Representatives, President Joe Biden said he intended to veto the bill to protect investors in the crypto asset market and to safeguard the broader financial system, which in my personal opinion is a lie. We all know that there is a war against crypto and they do not want you involved. However, Perry Ann Boring, founder and the CEO of the Blockchain Trade Association Digital Chamber, believes that the support from the 21 Democratic Party senators could force the White House to rethink its strategy and its position. In her opinion, the tides are turning for crypto in Washington, which is a phenomenal development behind the scenes that is happening that needs to happen in order for financial institutions to be comfortable onboarding into this space. So we will be paying attention to this development, and we have been talking about this for the longest time on the CyberX platform, where I shared this video clip with you guys all the way back in September of 2023. This video only has 118 views, which goes to show the lack of individuals that are actually paying attention to these ongoing developments. However, moving on into the DeFi ecosystem, all right? As always, attempting to keep you all ahead of the curve here at CyberX. In a previous post, I had mentioned to you all that I'm currently making over $148 per day in DeFi. I'm in the process right now of showing the entire private CyberX community how I am doing it, what positions I'm in, what dexes I'm involved in, and where my assets are working for me. Myself and Mr. Aquaman will also be dropping access to the Wealth 28 Club DeFi University this weekend. So make sure that you're following us on YouTube and make sure that you're following us on the X Space so that way you know where to go to join in on this massive opportunity. And I said to you all, it's crazy how in the same week, the HBAR Foundation announced that they are injecting up to 100 million HBAR to help scale the Hedera Network's maturing DeFi ecosystem. We have been trying to tell you all here at CyberX for the longest time that DeFi is the new wave.
What would be that number 2 use case, and what you feel like the portfolio of Pantera probably has tried to target, second to that store value macro?
Yeah, I think, well, one thing we've really focused on is DeFi. Decentralized finance makes a lot of sense to us because that's really where it doesn't require frequency, throughput to the degree that exchange, transactions do, retail transactions do. And, lending, borrowing.
But people want to knock it, they want to call it a scam, and it's because they don't understand it. They lack education. They don't understand how to allow their digital assets to work for them, and you do not want to be that type of person. Now, coming over here, again, I want you to pay attention to the dates because here at CyberX, we're always attempting to plug information out to you guys before the retail herd gets wind of it. And here, again, you can see perfect examples of how we're doing that, where I said to you all on May 19th, liquid staking is revolutionizing the crypto space by allowing investors to increase their returns while maintaining flexibility. By participating in liquid staking, investors can avoid the traditional lockup periods, providing the freedom to trade or use their crypto as needed and earn rewards, earn fees, allow your crypto to work for you. And sure enough, a day after, on May 20th, what did the HBAR Foundation post? We are excited to announce DeFi Spring, an incentive campaign injecting 100 million HBAR to scale the Hedera Network's maturing DeFi ecosystem. And again, people think DeFi is a scam, yet they'll sit there and hold HBAR and not even know the potential of the digital asset that they hold, right? How new users are over the coming months to scale the efficiencies of DeFi on Hedera. That's massive, okay? And then again, right down here, keep in mind the day prior, what were we talking about on May 19th? Taking advantage of liquid staking platforms. The day after, on the 20th of May, what did the HBAR Foundation say? Together with ecosystem projects like Saucer Swap Labs, Stater Labs, C14 Team, CoinGecko, and with more to be announced, we look forward to amplifying the awareness of accelerating access and catalyzing commerce in the Hedera DeFi ecosystem. And if you click on Stater Labs, what is it? It is a non-custodial and secure liquid staking platform. Boom, right there. Again, showing you guys devils in the details. We're not attempting to shill anything here at CyberX. We're attempting to keep you guys in the loop and ahead of this innovative transformation, okay? Now, 2 days after we put this out to you guys on X, and a day after, the HBAR Foundation put their information out on May 20th, Cointelegraph, again, Vast majority of retail investors now reading this 2 days after. Liquid staking platform on Ethereum boosts user accessibility. And what liquid staking platform are they talking about? Stater Labs. They're saying how Stater Labs enhances liquid staking on Ethereum by offering one-click ETH staking through the Ledger Live app. DeFi is not going anywhere. Financial institutions are for a fact interested in these new technological advancements, and they know the potential value of this whole entire ecosystem moving forward. Do not sleep on this information. This was posted from Cointelegraph about 9 hours ago as of time of recording this video. I just love seeing that again here at CyberX, we're always attempting to give you guys value ahead of the retail herd, right? Moving on, last but not least, I found this very interesting because we know that there's an attack on crypto. Do not get shaken out. We know that crypto is here to stay. We've heard this from reputable individuals with many credentials that crypto is not going anywhere.
That the engagement that Aaron's mentioning between regulators, policymakers, and financial institutions, both traditional and otherwise, I think it opens up the dialogue so that you're starting to see more and more regulators understand that the genie can't be put back in the bottle. Even though some of the more critical regulators and policymakers of the ecosystem have acknowledged that it's here to stay. They've started to talk about tokenization and the idea that blockchain and DLT is going to be used in the long term. And then getting to that nuance that Aaron was mentioning allows them to start thinking through what it means in a broad ecosystem for different players, right? What it means for institutions like ours that have, robust risk management platforms, robust controls already built in for our traditional processes that all of our new activities are going through as well. And the regulators are constantly talking about how they want to have oversight on the new ecosystem and the platforms that don't necessarily have these controls.
Uniswap Labs responds to Wells' notice and calls the SEC's legal case weak and wrong. Uniswap Labs, the developer of the decentralized exchange Uniswap, responds to the Wells notice issued against them by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. Now, I don't want to make this video too long, but they go on to talk about how their arguments are weak and wrong. And what I find interesting is that the firm's chief legal officer, Marvin Amori, went on to explain the situation on X. So what I did is I went on his profile and I reposted this onto my profile. If you guys want to go in and read it, it is very insightful and very interesting. I won't waste time reading the entire thing, but one thing that I will read is down at the bottom of his post where he goes on to say that the SEC isn't acting in good faith and the Uniswap protocol actually embodies the SEC's own mission statement to protect consumers, to maintain orderly markets, and to facilitate the capital formation. Disappointing that they refuse to learn from it and embrace it. Right. So with all of this information in mind, keep your head up out there. I understand that there may be a temporary attack in the digital asset landscape. And yes, we're going to go through regulatory headwinds, but keep in mind the longevity of this space and the direction of the total cryptocurrency market cap, zooming out, looking down the road 2 to 5 years from now is up. Again, not financial advice. Take advantage of these opportunities by educating yourself now with what's going on behind the scenes in the DeFi ecosystem and in the digital asset space. As always, attempting to keep you guys ahead of the curve. Many blessings. Do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. Don't forget, follow us on X, follow us on YouTube for further insights and updates on how to join in on the Wealth 28 Club DeFi University that myself and Mr. Aquaman will be dropping this weekend. As always, many blessings. Be cognizant, be aware, and I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown.